Before we begin, thank you very much to Darth Davlo for joining the Patreon campaign. Thank you very much for the support. I really do appreciate it. Anything that goes into the Patreon keeps the channel going, keeps the daily content coming, and I deeply appreciate everyone who is willing to pitch in, even if it's just $1 or $2 a month. You guys help a lot too, so thank you everyone who does it. Thank you very much. Let us get into the news roundup for the week. Now, we've already talked about some of the major ones, like the Hot Wheels Transformer crossover stuff. We're going to touch on it again, but we're going to leave out some of the bigger stories and rumors we've already talked about, and we're going to go through all of the news stories you might have missed over the course of the week, which begins with this in-hand look at the Leader Class Springer toy coming to Studio Series 86. As we know already, yeah, it's a very heavy retool of the previous Siege Springer, which is already a really good toy. However, a lot of changes have been made to it. I mean, I did have a few issues with that figure, like how the torso worked especially, but it seems like a lot of work went into the new torso here. So I'm hoping they do a lot. I'm hoping there's a lot of good changes to it. You can see the accessory loadout is absolutely ridiculous on this piece. You can see his extra weapons from the Siege release. The missile is there, his sword, his helicopter blade sword, a giant rifle, the hammer, his famous hammer that he uses in all of his appearances. Glad they finally put that in. So yeah, it's just a really nice looking figure. I mean, of course it is. I mean, the core figure it's already based on is already good. You can see the examples here. You can see the differences in the tooling between the left and the right. You can see especially in the chest and how more angular it is. It also doesn't have the little siege nubs for blast effects anymore. So, yeah, you can see a lot of the changes. You can see a lot of the changes from here. Waist down does kind of look the same. I think they pretty much admitted that was mostly the same. There are some changes, though. The thighs do look a lot cleaner, and they're not hollowed anymore. That's a nice change. Let's see. Side by side, you can definitely tell who's taller here. The new one is definitely a little bit taller. You can see all the extra stuff to the back, too, because the vehicle modes actually do look fairly different from each other as a result of, like, all the new kibble to make it more screen accurate. I really wish people would do more of the comparisons between the vehicles, but I haven't seen it much yet. But nevertheless, yeah, it's nice to see the backside because you can see where everything is a little bit more solid, especially in the thighs, especially. It looks good. It looks really good. I'm looking forward to it. And apparently a lot of people are because this thing sold out quick all over the place. Moving on, 86 Bumblebee was revealed. And then a day later, if you happen to be at the theater event for the first 4 episodes in Australia, you got to see it in person, which is a really nice thing that none of the other showings around the US did. Okay, so they made the Australian reveal special, so yeah, you got to see the toy that was released and announced 24 hours beforehand. Super cool. It is a very tiny Bumblebee, which we come to expect these days. You know, you pay for the character, not the size. And admittedly, it does look complex for its size, but still feels a little bit ick. I do really think they did a good job here, just conveying like the old penny racer style of the original G1 Bumblebee, while not coming too close to it being a Volkswagen Beetle that they would have to pay a licensing fee on top of everything else. It does look good. It looks really good. They've done a really nice job on it. Someone should have taken that hair off of him. That's weird. It makes me laugh because like examples like this that are this early in the production run, they have like the stamps all over them so they can tell what factory line they came from, etc., just in case it goes missing. But no, it's but ignoring that, it just looks really good. And I like seeing the back side of it too. We can see how the legs are folded up as well. We can see like how the backpack is handled, which that actually looks pretty good. Like, I've seen worse backpacks on G1 Bumblebees trying to recreate the look. Hello, Masterpiece 2.0 Bumblebee. How you feeling? It looks like Hasbro and Takara have both been taking a lot of notes since then on how to engineer this Bumblebee to be a little bit more effective than even the Masterpiece was. Nice to see. Nice to see. He looks really good, especially from the front. He just looks straight up like G1 Bumblebee. It's great. They had the Optimus Prime from 1 as well there. But that's not nearly as big of a deal. We got to see him a long time ago. Yeah, it's just a really, really good-looking bee. Really good-looking bee. And thankfully, someone caught the fact that it was very poorly transformed. This is how it looked the first time it was there. Luckily, they fixed it. Luckily, someone fixed it. But no, super cool if you got to see it in person. Alright, let's take a look at the new Star Raiders Thundertron. Someone's got it in hand, so we can get to see him and his pack-in partners. The toy itself is not a whole lot different, so there's not a lot to write home about as far as the differences go. So we can see if I can just zoom through here. Yeah, so you can see the example here. The original is on the right. The remolded version is on the left. The left one has a head that is sculpted to look a lot more accurate to the original toy, and it's also been given an eye patch, which I think is a really cool detail because, hey, pirate, no surprise there. You can also see, like, he's been given a hook hand as well, so more pirate aesthetic added. The big thing to him is that the colors are shifted, so the blues are brighter and more metallic. The golds also seem to be brighter and more metallic, and that's about it. That's about it. That's the only deco change that seems to have occurred, is just a shift in the color palette. Beyond that, there really doesn't seem to be any change in the paint mask. It just seems to be the exact same figure. They just switched the plastic and the gold paint. That's kind of disappointing, you know, especially when you're charging. I know it's coming packed in with 2 other toys, but when you're at the leader price point and you're just putting out essentially a shinier version than the previous toy, that's going to upset a lot of people who jumped on the original. Because now here's one that looks objectively better with the metallic parts and the new head, and now they've got to double up, which is really not fair to them. This really should have been in the Go color scheme. I know it's supposed to be a different character in Go, but it would have looked so much nicer. Or failing that, in an original color scheme. Like, it should have been done better. They should have taken the chance to do more with it. This just feels disappointing. Even in the Beast mode, there's no real visible change. Now, we do have the 2 that come with it, which is the sole reason why I would be interested in this multi-pack. Calcitron is another of our armorizers. It's a remold of the original. And it does look nice. I mean, I do like the icy blue colors to it. It looks like it's some kind of like, I was gonna say Arctic stone, but like that's not quite right. Let's just say, safe to say, it just looks nice. I'm not gonna try to be a geologist here and actually try to identify the rock. What's cool about it is the new head sculpt, because that is so different from the previous armorizers. The other ones that we've seen, the other armorizers definitely have like Transformer-style heads and faces to them, even though they are made up of rock elements. This one really feels like a Rock Lord head, and I kind of appreciate that. I kind of feel like that's what they need to go for here. So yeah, there's Magnius on the right. You can see it's mostly just a color change, but Magnius himself, I mean, he doesn't look bad, but man, it's like the fact that it's just an all gray release just makes all of these repaints we're getting pop so hard. Oh, it's so nice. It's so good. Really, really nice. Looking forward to him. And here's Night Strike. Here we see in the cassette mode. Now, the trick to Night Strike is supposed to be that there's a black skull painted on his cassette mode, where the upper mandible is actually the back of the bat head, which I think is a super clever idea. Just to tell you right now, the person taking these still photos did not figure that out. So I don't have a shot of him here that shows it in his proper orientation. I do have comparisons to Ratbat, so you can get to see the 2 and how different the 2 look, which is nice to see. I like the off-white and teal, not a bad color scheme. I like that the black just kind of looks like Batman's cowl, that's kind of fun. Seeing the 2 side by side makes you realize, yeah, that's actually a different bat head sculpt than the original. I don't have it near me, so I don't really know if this is a match for the wing thing that they did, if that head would actually match the new one, or if this is a completely new head they did for this release. Don't know. because I think the new one on the left is a little bit more toy accurate, if I'm guessing. But it is nice. It's a nice little inclusion, just to bulk it out a little bit, because yeah, it's like a 30. Because really, like a $35 and a $25 toy, it's already $60, and then you throw in another $5 toy, so you're up to like a $65 value. If they sell it at a leader price point, that'd be nice. It'd be nice. So you remember that 3-pack that we saw of Starscream, Shockwave, and Soundwave? That was originally listed as a Voyager pack, and we were confused because we thought, wait, Takara just did their dramatic capture pack that had 2 of those toys in it. Why would Hasbro release a third? Or not a third, but like, why would they release another one that was just the same? As it turns out, it's just a repack of 3 Cyberverse toys. That's a real letdown. That's really disappointing. Again, in a realm of like, why didn't you repaint it? Why didn't you do something different with it? Make them different Seekers. Make them different colors. Give me Shockwave. Like, yeah, like do that. Like, give me Shockwave. Give me Sound Blaster. And then give me, like, something based on that, like, G2 Blackout. Like the all-black Starscream or something. Like, just give me, like, like all 3 of them in super dark colors. Do something! Do anything to them! These toys, for their original price point, aren't bad. You know? I mean, they're obviously simplified for kids, but they're kind of fun for what they are. I would have loved to have seen them try something different and unique with it. No. It's just a re-release. It's just a re-release. They're even using the stock art. They're using the stock evergreen art for all of these, so it's just blah, it's a wasted opportunity. It just feels like they're putting them out for the sake of putting it out, and that ain't good. That ain't good. If we want a nice Starscream, on the other hand, the core Bumblebee movie's on the way. We got official stock photography of it. We've seen it and talked about it before, but seeing it in higher resolution is always nice too, and it does still look cool. I think the design's complexity to get into this size is really impressive, because it is doing a lot of interesting tricks to hide the jet mode parts amongst the robot. Like you can see the nose cone is actually upside down from where it flips out for the vehicle mode. The tail fins making up part of, a chunk of the leg gets them out of the way in a very different way than we're used to. Not a bad idea. And then the jet mode, which looks absolutely ridiculous, but this isn't too far off from how it's actually supposed to look. So you know what? I'll give it to you. It looks correct in a weird way. What got me is looking at the back of the box and going, this is 14 steps for a core class. That's pretty complicated at such a tiny scale. It's a weird one to do, considering there are so many small movie characters that still do not have core class. I would have liked to have seen a Wheelie by now, for instance, or a Ravage. And not 86 Ravage. I mean, like, just like the standard Ravage. Yeah, it feels like they should have been up by now. But no, we're getting another Starscream, which is fine, and it looks neat. I don't know if it's going to be one I would particularly buy at first sight, but it's fun to see it nonetheless. We do have to talk a little bit about the Hot Wheels Optimus Prime. I did a whole video where I kind of built this thing up and kind of got all the hype going for it, and then dropped the bomb that this thing costs $80, which is disgusting. That's an absolutely disgusting. There's not a thing you can do to convince me that this toy is anything worth that. There's not a single thing you can do. But we do have in-hand shots leading up to the official release tomorrow for those who have way too much money to spend, or those who are just super into their Hot Wheels. I will admit it's tempting because this is kind of a once-in-a-lifetime thing, and the idea that a transforming Hot Wheels Optimus Prime existing is super, super cool. But the price point just screams so much of corporate greed that I can't support this release. No. And I know it's going to sell out too. And then I know it's going to be $200 scalped on eBay. Whatever. I got better things to spend my money on. So, it is still neat though. I can't deny that it's neat. Yeah, the reversible packaging is still cool. The English on the back. The messed up language on the back that came from some AI nonsense. That's not cool. It still looks fine. It's very tiny. Like, and here's the thing. Someone pointed it out the last time. And this one's got a hair stuck to it, too. Jeez. People are filthy. And what got to me is what someone pointed out to me is that this thing is actually more expensive than one of the missing Link convoys. You can get a fully remade G1 Optimus Prime with die-cast parts and full modern engineering and articulation for as much as this guy goes for. And this guy is just the standard G1 Optimus Prime shrunken down. We've already seen that done. We've seen it shrunken smaller than this. And yet, $80. I don't... it gets me angry. It gets me angry, because this should be a really cool thing. This should be accessible to a lot of collectors. And they've priced a lot of people out from it. I don't know. It's nasty. It's nasty. I don't like it. I don't like it. Oh, but if you want a cheap one that doesn't transform, oh no, they're doing that too. So the Track Fleet Optimus Prime has official photos now of how it looks in package, which is fine. It still looks nice. It's a tiny G1 Optimus Prime done up as a Hot Wheel car. Not really a whole lot more to say about that. We've touched on it multiple times. As we have also talked about the Bumblebee, which is still looking nice and still ridiculous at a 1 per case ratio. Why do you... like? Is this why it's $80? Because you're going to make so little money on this collaboration on everything else you're doing that you're just going to tank, you're just going to try and make up all the money on the big release? Cuz the other release are the Hot Wheels Skate, which I got to tell you, I'm sure there's kids that are going to love it, but it ain't a collector's item. I don't really see collectors going after these. So again, yeah, just part of the news for the week. Yeah, the little fingerboard toys are out, or not. I don't think they're out yet, but here's the official stock photos of them. They're doing Optimus, Bumblebee, Starscream, Megatron, and Soundwave, with boards that are very stylized for the characters and shoes that aren't. Why are Megatron's shoes pink? Why are Megatron's shoes pink? Soundwave at least comes close, but you know, it's just a weird decision. It's just a really weird set. I don't know. It feels like for something that should be like once in a lifetime, the two biggest toy brands collaborating on items based on one of the biggest franchises in toy history, it feels like they're wasting it. It really does feel like a waste. But you know what? You know, stuff like this sells to kids. Whatever. Congratulations in order for the Skybound comics. We are less than a year into that comics run, and it's already getting nominated for awards. So the Eisner Awards announced their nominations, and the Transformers book is up for Best Continuing Series, Best Writer/Artist, and the Best Lettering, which is a fantastic array of awards to be up for something that's only a few issues old so far. So congratulations to everyone. I will still champion those comics. They are far better than I ever expected them to be. Very, very cool to find out that, yeah, they're getting recognition as well. We do need to talk about the Funkos, unfortunately, because they did release official images for all of the 40th anniversary ones, starting with Astro Train, who is very much in his toy-based colors, and he looks fine as far as just a big-headed Astro Train goes. Blaster as well. It's interesting to me that these are all toy-designed rather than being cartoon-accurate, so they can fit into the retro toy brand. And they look fine. And then you get to Buzzsaw here. And I wish they took a better photo of that Buzzsaw. Straight on does not do that design any favors. Looks way better here, where you can see it's actually kind of adorable. I hate to admit that, but I kind of have to. Buzzsaw is the chase, by the way, because of course he is. Ironically, first new Buzzsaw mold since Titan Return, and it's Funko who made it. The Laserbeak is easy to get, though. Laserbeak's part of the regular assortment. I might be tempted by that, just because it is kind of neat to see. Just because it is kind of cute. I'm not gonna lie. If you got the big jumbo-sized Soundwave, like that big 10-inch one, this is gonna scale beautifully to that. This is gonna scale beautifully to that. We have it down to the shop. Oh no, why did I think that? No, now there's a temptation. Now it feels a temptation, because I did that with like the Mew and Mewtwo, and I love seeing that scale. Oh no, why did I think of it? Why did I think of it? I gotta move on. I have to hit the eject button now. Oh no, we're in Beast Machines. I've hit the wrong eject button. Oh no, I want to go back to the plane crash. I want to go back. So, Inexplicably, Beast Machines has news this week because they released the album to all of your favorite streaming platforms. The album does include 10 songs from the series entitled Pursuit, Optimus, Megatron, Mega Chase, Dark Times, Tanks, Legend, Underworld, Weird Dream, and The End. Not the most original names, but at least memorable. And you know which one is missing? Evolution Revolution. The one song you probably remember from Beast Machines that was used for one promo video and then put in a vault, put under ice, and never heard of again. I don't know why that one, this seems to be like the one you spent the most money on, is the one that you don't put out. Where's my like stream quality, my CD quality version of that song? It's actually like maybe the best piece of media Beast Machines put out, arguably. And we're going to finish off. If you're in Malaysia, they have just announced a night run event called Race for Cybertron, where I assume this is going to be some sort of kind of marathon event for the Transformer brand, I assume. Or it might just be a graphics design thing. It might just be for merchandise. Because they did release a bunch of race-themed memorabilia, including these shirts, race-style shirts, which means I couldn't wear one because these are supposed to hug the body. I am very huggable, but not for shirts. There's a tin as well, and a race bib. I don't know what a race bib is. Sounds weird to sell as a piece of merch, though. The Decepticon one, oddly enough, the Autobot one's in blue. It looks super cool, but why not red? The Decepticon one's in the proper color, though, and they look great. The designs actually look great. That makes me upset that these are not available as just like normal t-shirts. But no, they also have medals as well. So if you want to, I don't know, you can apparently just buy the medals, which for any kind of running event, I think is cheating. I think that's cheating. Looks super cool, though. Oh, I would prefer a Rodimus star, but that's just me. But it does make for a weird piece of news, and it makes for a nice way to end off our news roundup for the week. So, there's all of the news you might have missed. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.